And good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to Going nuCLEar, full-blown coverage of the land. I am Ethan Greenberg, and alongside of me today, we've got a packed house. We've got my co-host, Madison Delaney, calling in, joining us from North Carolina. Then we've got all the way from Colorado, in the thin air, the altitude, we've got Lysandra. And joining us from the one and only land, the always positive one, always positive Jay, from the Voice of the Land podcast and a frequent caller to the Really Big Show and everything else that goes on ESPN 850. He is the man, always positive Jay. What is happening, folks? How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening?
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Thursday night football. That's like my thing. I always wait like for every night football. If I could have it, I would.
They're trying to do it too, right? They're trying to put it on every day, I think.
Not exactly a great matchup this week, though.
No, I was doing my daily fantasy today, and I was like, man, this is a crappy roster.
It is. It is a real. It's going to be a real crap show tonight. You know, I mean, last week you had a crappy game between the Bears and the Broncos, and this week you've got the Bears and the Commandos doing battle here on Thursday Night Football. And that brings me to the first bit of breaking news here. Legend Dick Butkus, former Chicago Bear, dies today. And I didn't even realize this until I started looking at his story, that he played all 9 of his seasons for the Chicago Bears. I mean, he's a legend. His team kind of sounds a lot like our Joe Thomas. Never made the playoffs. Never made the playoffs in all those seasons in Chicago. For, you know, a legendary player like that and such a storied franchise. So I don't know. How do you think just the legacy of Dick Butkus and the future of the Chicago Bears? Anybody thoughts on how that might change their outlook tonight and going forward, if that's even possible?
Well, I just found out that Dick Butkus passed away, so that was pretty crazy. So I haven't got caught up with my sports news today, but that's definitely a shocker. I'd like to say that the Bears will take that as motivation and to do it for Dick, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of those guys weren't even born.
Probably not most of them, but still, it's kind of like Jim Brown, was to the Browns as Dick Butkus was to the Bears. Madison, what did you think? When you saw this news, any specific thoughts that come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's so recent. I haven't really had a chance to really, I guess, feel the whole emotions and go through that whole thing. But obviously, I didn't get to see him play, but you know who he is. If you know football, you know who he is. So do I think that the Bears will play more inspired football? I don't know that I can say that I do. I mean, I would like for them to, because I think everybody's rooting for them to, but I wouldn't say anything that they've done has explicitly been inspired, although, they played okay last week, I guess. So hopefully they can at least use that to try to, motivate themselves to play a little bit better than they have been.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Jay?
They better use it for motivation. Like, they need to do something. Like, come on, Bears. Oh, I bet a lot of my fantasy teams on DJ Moore this year, and he's killing me softly. But, yeah, I got a lot of friends that are Bears fans. And, I mean, for Halloween, I dressed up as one of the super fans.
Yes.
I mean, it's Dick Butkus. Like, the dude's got even a legendary name. Like, that is, just sounds like a linebacker.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, you have to be tough to have a name that, although not spelled that way, is pronounced Butkus. Like, how are you not going to be tough if you have to grow up with a name like that? Hey, Butkus, what you doing, Butkus?
He's kicking some Butkus out there. That's for damn sure.
Exactly. So I just wanted to touch on that because I saw that and I saw some of the parallels, just his legendary status, to someone like Jim Brown. And
it was cool to hear he passed away peacefully in his sleep. Like, what better way to go? You're just dreaming, and you wake up and you're like, wait, am I dreaming? Be like, nah, bro, welcome to heaven. And be like, nah, shit, here we go.
Exactly. So that was that's some crazy stuff to start off the evening. But we shall all move on. We'll see how the Chicago Bears do tonight in another fantastic Thursday night matchup. And I use fantastic as sarcastically as possible. Maybe Al Michaels will be inspired tonight as opposed to in some of his other broadcasts where he's throwing shade at the game.
Seriously. Yeah, I don't know. Thursday night football, it's a hit or miss. Usually it's a snoozer and I'm passed out by the fourth quarter.
Well,
It's,
you're not
tonight
alone.
is basically fantasy applications for a lot of us, I think. We're like, all right, who do we got going? Who we going against? The game's going to probably be garbage. Although, they got, there's a Sam Howell down there in Washington.
Yes.
Eric Bieniemy's got him playing, man. And I swear, watch. You just watch. If the Browns continue to struggle on offense, you're going to hear that dude's name for head coach.
Now, Madison, you're right down there in the heart of Ron Rivera land. You experienced it firsthand. What do you think? Would we take Riverboat Ron up here?
I think you're talking about EB. Yeah, he's talking about EB.
Oh, EB. Oh no.
Eric Bieniemy, that's the offensive coordinator that was under.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I missed
the Chiefs for a long time.
Yeah, you are correct.
His name's going to get thrown around eventually for head coach. It should have been years ago. But if Stefanski continues to struggle with some of his stuff he's got going on this year, he's going to get on that seat's going to just get hotter and hotter and hotter. I'm not calling for his name, but I bet money you'll hear Eric Bieniemy's name thrown our way.
You don't think Schwartz is going to swoop in on that?
I think he stay right where he's at. Sometimes, and I think when they get older, they kind of realize it. Like, all right, maybe I'm just better off being a defensive coordinator, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, some people make great head coaches, but we're terrible coordinators or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're different jobs. Like, and I think he's just fantastic at what he does. Like, look at our offensive line coach, Bill Callahan. He was a head coach before, but I think he's just like, nah, screw that. I'm a fantastic offensive line coach. Let's just be the best at that.
Yeah, some guys are better at the coordinator than the whole head coach gig.
And if you want a good OC, they want to be a head coach, you got to give them both responsibilities, I think, is the trend now in the NFL. So it would be hard to buck that trend, I think. But hopefully we don't have to talk about it. All right.
That never really bothered me. Like, I didn't care that an offensive or a head coach was calling his own plays, like Stefanski. It just didn't bother me. Like, I think you should be able to do that. Like, I've seen many people do that. It's either you're going to call good plays or you're not going to call good plays. And lately, he hasn't. But, hopefully he learns.
Exactly. So the Browns, coming off of last weekend, the biggest conversation that we all have heard was the debacle in the timing of the decision that Watson didn't end up playing, and we thrust DTR into the starting role. But I don't know if anyone listened at all to I listened to the interview with Josh Cribbs this morning, and he said last week it was alumni week. They got to see more than the media did, and it sounded like they had DTR preparing, taking those reps in practice. So I guess my question is this. I posed this to my son. I said, what they had him doing looked more like what we would have expected Watson to be doing. Were they really anticipating Watson to play? And if not, why did they think DTR could do the same thing? Did they not think about having a contingency plan for, like, hey, let's make something easier on the guy? I don't know. I'm open for thoughts on this whole process. Please chime in.
I think it was the result of probably bad game planning, bad play calling, and I think that Watson was one of those where he called in sick like right before his shift and kind of put people in a bind. But like you said, they expected DTR to play, so I feel like they should have had a different playbook for him. I don't feel like Kevin Stefanski set him up for success. I feel like those, like you said, those plays would have been something that Deshaun would have been more likely to pull off.
I completely agree. I don't think Stefanski puts a lot of people in their best position lately. Like, the more I'm seeing from him, like, Baker's hurt with a bad arm that one year, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna chuck the ball around 45 times today." When we had a healthy Nick Chubb and a good Kareem Hunt, like, come on, like I don't know.
I
He's
feel
starting to
like
wear
when
on
he
me
did that
more.
I feel like when he did that with Baker, though, he knew that wasn't his guy,
Yeah,
and,
I
I
mean,
think he was
let's say you're right.
Mhm.
Do you want a head coach that's going to do that to you? Like, oh, I don't like this guy, so I'm just going to throw him under the bus and
Well,
not
that
give it
was
to him
what
'cause I need
Baker
him out of
wanted,
here.
though. Baker wanted to spread it out and sling it all over the field. That was what he wanted to do. He wanted to go 5 out and do that
Agreed.
whole deal.
Is he the coach?
He's not, but at that
That's why
point,
I've been
the
like,
season
screw you,
was
dude. Your arm's
lost, and he
broke.
wanted.
If
He
you
was
want to play, we're going to run the ball, and you're going to do what I say. I'm the coach, not you're not the coach. Like he didn't put him in position. He let him do what he wanted to do, and it's not being a head coach. Like you're the head coach. You just tell him shut the hell up. I'm the person calling the plays. You're not calling the plays.
he
And
keeps
you already
shutting
heard
out
it.
the
Like
plays the
Deshaun
whole
Watson
time,
is
though.
already doing this to him.
Now, Madison, I think what you're saying, I mean, and I agree with both of you on both sides of it. A, if you're the head coach, you need to have a little more control over the situation. But B, I realize that, look, Baker wanted to do all that. Didn't he? Didn't the stories come out that he was like audibling calls, that were coming in? Am I misremembering this, Madison?
I mean,
Who
he
knows
gets
anymore,
multiple
dude?
play calls. He gets to check out of stuff.
Yeah, I thought I had heard somewhere that like it was getting to the point where he's calling out of plays and making his own decisions and so on and so forth. And I might be making that up in my own head. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I mean, it wasn't a good look on Sunday. Whether or not, I know everybody there, the other discussion was, should we have had Josh Dobbs? Should we have had a different person as a backup quarterback? And I think that I could have argued for a better, more experienced veteran quarterback to be the backup under these circumstances. That we may not have won the game, but we probably would have had more of a fighting chance. I mean, the stat line: 19 of 36, and before sack yardage just taken off 121 yards, no touchdowns, 3 picks, 1 to end the game, and sacked 4 times. That's not good. That's not good enough. However, one player to shine in this offense, guys. Look at Njoku. Where'd that guy come from? I didn't even know we still had him. I thought he was off the roster at this point.
I feel like Stefanski is allergic to tight ends.
Even though he loves them.
Yeah.
He just likes to put him out there and
It's
show him off.
just Njoku has a lot of potential. He's very athletic. He's strong. His hands have definitely got better since he's came in the league, and he's just not utilized enough in the offense. I mean, for how shitty or crappy that our team played, he still put up the numbers, and I think having somebody like Dobbs instead of a fresh rookie would have definitely helped our situation.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So if it's a similar offense and DTR's finding him, do we think Watson's just not finding him, or is Kevin just not getting him open when Watson's playing?
I don't think that's the case, because when Watson was in Houston, he liked to use his tight ends a lot.
He did, yeah.
So I feel like this keeps falling back on Stefanski. It's like
But he's not throwing the ball.
For me, I feel like Stefanski is a brilliant football mind, but I feel like he gets in his own way sometimes. Like, it's not all analytics.
He's smart for his own good.
So yeah, sometimes you got to go with your gut, and I think he relies too much on the numbers.
What year is Josh Dobbs in? Do you guys know by any chance?
Third, I think.
I think it's longer than that, but
Fourth?
I'd have to check the facts. It feels like
With
he's been
Pittsburgh for a
longer
little
than-
bit.
yeah.
Let's say 5 years. Whatever. Let's just throw a number out there.
Okay, throw it
Josh
out there.
Dobbs was DTR 5 years ago. He's been in the league for 5 years. He worked his way from third string, where DTR should be, learning, all the way to second string. Now he's starting and doing pretty damn good down in Arizona. Like, Arizona.
Right.
So when people are like, could we probably still wouldn't have won without him? Like, you don't know that, dude. Like, we actually could have won with him. DTR showed that dude was not ready at all. Like, first off, can we please stop with all the like any preseason game hype? Done. Never again. I don't want to hear anybody hyped up from preseason. Like, if you suck in preseason, sucks to be you. But yeah, I don't care if you're doing. You can catch the ball, throw the ball for 450 yards, perfect rating. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Do it in a real game, and I'll judge you then. I'm done with the preseason games.
Yeah,
But they totally should have had a veteran.
definitely, especially versus the Ravens.
yeah,
That
I
just
agree.
really burns me up.
Right, and
Oh, I hate losing to them.
I hate losing anytime. I gotta admit, but no, it really does go to show that the preseason hype is so rarely a match for regular season production. You see it every once in a while. You see a guy step out of a role. I mean, what did we see? We saw it was kind of as a result of an injury. This is just in recent years that I can think of. What Prescott, got thrust into his position after Tony Romo got injured. You saw, like, albeit this year we don't want to talk about him too much, but Russell Wilson, he took a position that wasn't necessarily. I think what Matt Flynn was. They had picked up Matt Flynn and then in Seattle drafted Wilson later, and Wilson outperformed him in preseason and was able to take the job, and obviously did some really positive things there. But more times than not, like you said, Jay, and I think we all agree, the preseason is the preseason for a reason, and it's not so much to get hyped up about. But I don't know. I think that's just the way we are as fans. We're looking for positives, negatives, and you see it and you latch onto it. Maybe for me, I don't know. I'm hoping for anything positive to happen come September when the Browns start playing. So in August, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I'm guilty of the overhype. I get so excited. I've been away from football for so long. I see preseason, I'm like, yeah. And there you go. I think that's where a lot of the hype comes from, is just being deprived of football for so long.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna have to
Everything
not
looks
watch
good
it.
to us in the preseason.
I know. I'm just not gonna watch it anymore. I'm like, how'd the game go? Like, I don't know. Didn't watch it. I'm not getting hooked.
There
And
you
I say
go.
that now.
We'll check in
And
with
then
you
once
next
I'm
year. See how
deprived for like
that
2
works
months and like, someone say something about some football.
Exactly. Like you said, Madison, we'll check it. We should all check in with each other and all the other fans next season come August when football season starts up again. It'll certainly be interesting. And they do such a good job, the NFL does, of keeping people involved and in the game, invested in it, whether it's your rookie, your draft, your mini camps, the whatever the heck, the combine, all those things, they get you hooked and they keep you involved.
I mean,
That's
I'm
why.
sure all you guys are jonesing for a first round picks, aren't you?
I don't want to get into the discussion that was that I heard somewhere this morning about what would life look
No,
like. We're not going to get into it, but if we still had
it
those
made
first
me turn
round,
off exactly what you're talking about. I
I know.
turned it
Yep.
right off.
Yeah, I listened to it. I humored it, but
I'm sorry.
no, I get it. But anyway,
You'll never get that time back.
Hey, don't worry. I was doing billing work while it was going on. So, it
I
wasn't
mean,
like
you could have painted the wall and watched it dry. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true. I might have just, been banged my, what'd you say that I painted? I could have banged my head against the wall. That would have worked too.
That also is better.
That would have been a good time. It would, especially if I put a nail up there, maybe hang something up afterwards. I think that would work. But what are we making of the Jed Wills experience? Is anybody else here concerned that not even the greatest offensive line coach in Bill Callahan is going to be able to get any more out of this guy?
I've seen enough online. I've seen enough of the clips. I've seen enough of blown coverage on the line. And yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed.
Can't coach effort. That's what it is.
Not at all. I mean, we're supposedly have one of the best lines in the NFL, and the Ravens were completely destroying us. And
yeah, I think we got to take that away for right now. The line hasn't been very good across the board, really. I mean, obviously, Jedrick Wills has not been good and the least of all of them. But for the most part, everybody's missing assignments, it seems like, on run blocks, especially, which is where they've been so good. So if we don't have your star running back, and the rest kind of falls apart from there if we're not hitting, all the blocks that we're supposed to be hitting.
Yep. It's like we were in a well-oiled machine with Nick Chubb, and the wrench got thrown in there.
Yeah, maybe he covered up a little bit and made them look a little better than maybe they were.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point.
Very, very true. And I think we're going to see this weekend or next weekend against San Francisco. Now, obviously, McCaffrey is just a talent, is a whole different level of
You guys,
talent.
can I warn you? I think it's going to be really bad next week.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
So bad. Like, it's going to be worse than the Ravens. So prepare yourself for a crap show all week after that, because Brown fans are going to lose their effing mind. I just know it's going to happen. I don't feel very good about this game at all.
I usually take a little break from the X after a loss, couple days, because it's a toxic place out there on Brown's Twitter.
It
I
is.
haven't watched SportsCenter.
No,
since then.
you can't watch SportsCenter after a
I
loss.
barely listen to any sports or anything. My co-host yesterday is like, "So, what do you think about Andrew Berry's press conference?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't listen to anything of it." I'm like, "I don't care what he has to say." And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't want to listen to anything. I haven't listened to nothing."
Didn't he say something about enjoying the process or something?
Yeah, I heard about that, and that pissed me
Man,
off.
no, we are not the 76ers.
Yeah,
We're
apparently.
not.
Yeah, I definitely went off on my show last night about that. That was just like, dude, do not tell this fan base that ever. We never deserve to be told that. I don't care if you're doing it. Just lie to me and tell me if you're going to lie.
Lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Exactly. Like, do the process. Just don't tell us about it. Like, don't tell us to be patient, because we've been through hell and back since '99, and we're so sick of losing. And that's why every time we lose, we flip out. Like, we're at wit's end.
We're unhinged.
We're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to flip out every single time they lose.
Yeah, every loss. It doesn't matter. Preseason, whatever. Everything is going to hell, and the coach needs to be fired, and we need to throw it all away and start over every time we lose.
At least we
You
can
gotta realize, like, we're not even playing. We're actually not the losers. They're the losers. We're not out there playing on the field getting our asses kicked. Like,
we're just being loyal
we feel
fans.
just as much as they do, maybe even more.
Yeah. We deserve so much as Cleveland Browns fans.
It's like if you, we've been through mental abuse, and they make the fake commercials. Have you been tortured by the Browns? You might be entitled to compensation. It certainly is tough to be a Cleveland sports fan, especially the Browns. They've been
You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough.
Yeah, you really do. And this is the process. And Madison, we've talked about this before, both on the show and otherwise. I've got friends who text me, and they're angry with the world about the Browns. And if they don't win, or they don't win by enough, it's not enough for them. I'm like, I don't know. I can't deal with that. I'm not going to say that's it. I'm never watching them again. It's like, no, I'm gonna be mad. Give me a few minutes to kind of chill out and get over it, and then we'll be okay. And I said a couple weeks ago, watching the Browns with my son is like the best. Having him get into it and really enjoy it. We're coming up for the game in November against the Cardinals, and so
Really?
yes, we will be there.
I might be bringing my nephew to that game, so we'll have to meet up.
Yes, that would be amazing. I don't know how much. Maybe he'll shotgun a beer or something. I don't know.
Whoa!
Anyone by chance going to the game out here in Denver with the Broncos? I'll be there. I'll be there. Section 129 on the visitor side, of course.
One of these days, I need to go to a stadium outside of Cleveland. I've never been to a game outside of Cleveland.
Wow. I've actually done something that another Browns fan hasn't done. I mean, last year went to the game at the Crapatorium FedEx Field. So we've been there.
Who plays at FedEx Field?
Washington.
The Titans? Oh, never mind. I was like the commies.
Yeah, the Commandos. Yeah, we went up on January 1st, and we had a good time. I mean, of course, we had a good time. The Browns actually won. That was up until maybe the game against the Titans. That was the best that Watson had looked in a Browns uniform, but it was a fantastic experience. So, all right, I don't want to belabor the point much, but that's the Browns situation. It was a rough weekend, a rough few days. Maybe now that football weekend is starting up again, we'll be able to move forward. No, there won't be any more focus on this until we get an injury report next week. And
I
then
have one question.
Yes, you may.
Do you guys hate the Ravens or the Steelers more?
Ravens.
Me too. Like, and it's not even close. Like, I despise the Steelers, but like, I give my tickets away to my partner, like my buddy who we have season tickets with. I don't go to the Ravens game. I hate them that much.
I have an
This
admission
whole
to
week
make.
is like, I won't be watching anything until the next game. Like, and then it's right during a bye week. I'm like, man, I got 2 weeks. I have to wait so I can get over this. Like, I'd rather lose to another team just to get over the loss to the Ravens. They stole my team. They stole my Super Bowl. They stole our culture. Like, God, I hate them so bad.
Yeah, they came out, back years ago, a few times when the Ravens came out here. I actually cheered for the Broncos, and I had no shame in that, just because I hate them that much.
Well, you're not necessarily cheering for the Broncos. You're cheering against the Ravens. It's like
yes, but I don't ever clap for anything the Broncos do. So that took a lot.
I don't like them either, but it's not the hate that I have for that Ravens team.
Oh yeah, I feel exactly how you do, Jay.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, they stole our Super Bowl. They stole our team. They stole our culture.
I do agree, but I feel like I'm going back and forth in my head because I always feel like we're better than Pittsburgh, and then we lose to Pittsburgh, and it's like inexplicable to me because we are better than them, especially like this year. God, I'm still upset about that game. But I mean, obviously, like with the whole team getting stolen thing, that's a pretty large thing. But I feel like the Ravens are fairly talented, so when we lose to them, like I can kind of say like, okay, whatever, like they actually have more talent, but like I don't feel like Pittsburgh has more talent. So when we lose to them, I feel like it burns a little bit more for me. Like I don't care as much about this past game because one, Watson didn't play. Like you're probably going to lose that game. I know you think maybe Dobbs had a chance. I don't know that you win that game with many backup quarterbacks. We just didn't play well enough, but I don't know. It's tough.
One, ask me after a Pittsburgh loss, and that might change.
Right, flips.
It's still a little.
No, I see it. Like, let's say I liken Baltimore as a thief in the night. He breaks into my house, right? And I got a bat, my trusty Browns bat, and then I go to use it on him to defend my house. He steals that damn bat, turns it purple magically, and then just beats me down with this bat for years, dude. Like, I can't stop this thing. He's using my utensils against me, and it drives me crazy every single time. I hate that team. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. I feel like if I vent it, it'll get me over it faster.
I don't even need to say anything. You have articulated my anger to the T.
It is good to hear that, and that's what we like.
Like if there's ever a Ravens game, we're going together, so I can have someone that can deal with this with me.
We won't be so positive at that game, Jay.
No, unless we're winning, then it's on.
Yeah,
it is on, definitely. And I mean, and you bring up something interesting about being at the game and not being positive. I saw some ridiculousness online on social media talking about. No way, indeed. Talking about how Browns fans, they boo. What are you like? What do you? We're paying customers. We're not saying you're an awful human being. All we're simply saying is we are mad at the performance and we're voicing it the only way we can. We're not going to. I mean, I would hope not. I'm not going to throw something at my own team. I mean, as much as I might want to, I don't want to get arrested. So booing is about the only outlet I have. Other than not going. But if I'm there already, that's my outlet. And so I'm sure Cleveland is not the only place in the world where their team gets booed. Look at Pittsburgh. They were as they were winning and beating the Browns. Fire Matt Canada was their chant.
Do you remember when the New York fan base is pretty brutal too? They booed the hell out of Zach Wilson several times.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Philly fans booed their team over
Philly
many
fans-
losses or over many wins.
City of brotherly love, my ass.
It is like complete opposite. I would never go to that. Like, you know how bad I want to go there and have a Philly cheesesteak? But I'm frankly afraid. They're gonna get mad at me if I do anything wrong.
Don't
Like, I want
don't wear Browns gear because
Don't wear anything. I'm just gonna go there with. I actually just camouflage. I'll buy some Philly gear and wear it there beforehand.
Nice.
Or I'll wear like a little stamp that says "I hate Dallas" or something.
There you go.
I think that's a good way to go. I think that's an excellent way to go. And I will tell you, I traveled to Philadelphia when I was in a youth group. We played in a basketball tournament there.
And you survived.
We did get to go down to South Philly and get an authentic cheesesteak. Pretty good. I got to tell you.
You get the cheese whiz on it.
I did not get the whiz. I did.
Yeah,
not.
I wouldn't do the whiz. Like little kid Jay would have definitely. I would have taken the cheese whiz straight from the can. Now I'm like, nah, I can't eat artificial cheese food anymore. My stomach doesn't want to do this stuff anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're talking about the Browns. We had a tough time, but how about them Buckeyes? The Buckeyes 5-0, and they're back in action this week, taking on 5-0 Maryland. And the brother of Tua Tagovailoa, if I could get the name out of my mouth and not mispronounce it, but Talia Tagovailoa from Maryland, looking pretty good. He's thrown for 1,400 yards, 13 TDs, and 3 interceptions. Now the Buckeyes are undefeated so far in all games against Maryland, and they pretty much, for the most part, had them dominated. Although a few years ago, I do tend to recall they had to sweat one out on a Saturday afternoon. College football is just as big in Ohio as anything, as the Browns are. And the Buckeyes kind of bring people together from all areas of the state. After the big win against Notre Dame, and I know some people don't want to give them all the credit for that because there were 10 men on the field at the time that they scored the winning touchdown, but these things happen. Yeah, it's minor details. Somebody else made a mistake for once. Somebody else makes the mistake. I think they're starting to come into form. And a lot of these other teams, I'm not that afraid of Georgia. They've got a young quarterback. Texas, am I that afraid? Nah, I don't know. So, I mean, is this going to be a real test for the Buckeyes taking on the Terrapins? Is my question.
I mean, it is Maryland. It's Maryland. I don't know how true.
There it is. That's all you need.
5-0 to Tagovailoa is pretty good quarterback, but I mean, like, they're Maryland. You should beat Maryland. You're Ohio State. Like, you should beat them easily. And if you don't, this is like, I don't know. I'm going against like my whole mantra. Like, I'm not very positive on this podcast at all because I don't feel all that great about Ohio State this year. They do not look like a national championship contender to me right now. Could that change? Sure. Because when CJ Stroud started off, everyone was like, this dude's garbage, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't think he was all that bad, but he got a lot better. And obviously now look at him in the NFL. He's tearing it up. So we'll see what McCord can do. Right now, I'm really just not that sold. I don't think they beat Georgia. Like when we played them in a national championship, we had CJ Stroud. Like, he was the one going against them. And if we didn't lose Marvin Harrison, we probably would have beat them. Yeah. We ain't got that kind of firepower. Like, I haven't seen it against even like the lower schlub teams that we played. So hopefully it's college though, because it's, they could get so much better from first game to the last game. Like, it could be a completely different team. And hopefully that's the thing with Ohio State. That's our standard. It's a national championship or bust year. Like, that's what it kind of sucks for them. It's unfair, but it is what it is.
I would say that, Jay, where Ohio State is like some of the other, Alabama, it's championship or bust. At this point, I'd say, I mean, probably Georgia is now in that same category. I'm sure people at USC for years felt the same way under Pete Carroll. And they kind of, it goes in certain phases, but it is what it is, and it's Ohio State, and fairly or not, like you said, the expectation is that they should win a national championship with all the talent they can recruit. But you talked about them not looking very good, or in your mind in the early season, and not looking like a championship team. And I know it's kind of, we've got the standard of what Ryan Day's teams look like, but if you think about it, do you remember the 2002 team? Because that was not a pretty
Tressel.
football team.
Tressel.
Yes, the
Well,
Tressel.
Tressel ball. That was, don't turn the ball over, play the field position game, and play great defense with the run game. Like that's how he was winning. That was his style. And Ohio State has completely changed since
Right.
he's been gone, especially when Urban Meyer got here. He opened up the borders and said, we're getting all these athletes from all over the place. And now we're a fast team that can compete with these teams from the SEC, because that's why we couldn't before. And
Right.
that's why we should be putting up points like we have in the past. Like, it just, I don't know if maybe it's just me. I haven't been watching this too closely towards them, but it feels like in the past that they would just be dominating these teams, like from start to beginning. And the teams don't even score until we put in our second and third string guys. And right now it's like we're in the learning stage. And like I said, we could become a great offense because they are young and it's a new quarterback, and all it takes is for it just to click for him one day and everyone get in sync and that offense take off. But we'll see.
Yeah.
It's all about, I mean, what are we waiting for? What game? Michigan.
Yep. Pretty much.
We don't beat them, like,
Oh,
it's going to be bad 3 in a row.
what a way to ruin a Thanksgiving weekend.
Seriously. Yeah, all my dad's entire side of the family is all from Michigan.
Oh,
He has 6 brothers, 4 sisters. So they all have kids who now have kids. They're either state fan or Michigan fans, and I had so much fun with them for so many years. And now they're having fun. It's no fun for me.
Exactly. So, good question for you, Lysandra. Being out there in Colorado, has the hype died down at all after the past couple of beatdowns that Dion has taken?
A little.
Or people still pretty pumped around there? I mean, I know you're not. That's in Boulder, and are you in Denver?
I'm actually just outside of Denver in Aurora.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's right on the border. So I just consider it Denver.
Right.
Boulder is about a 45-minute drive to the foothills. Well, when the Buffs actually busted out with that huge, those huge wins, and Prime was just all over the place. Buffs are all over the news. All kinds of news about students having a hard time getting to the games or being able to get tickets to the games because of boosters getting them all or celebrities getting the tickets. So I know that was a big issue, and a kind of a controversy was the access to tickets for the students. After the loss, after that huge loss, that kind of put a damper on everything. And it was more of I think that was the same week that the that the Broncos lost 70-20. So Denver was just feeling all the crap that week there. So it has died down, but I think that because Boulder hasn't been in the spotlight like that, there's still hype around it because, people call Boulder like 50 square miles surrounded by reality or something like that. It's a different kind of place out there. It's like kind of like Berkeley. You want to think about that. So it's a different kind of place, but there are, now that we're getting a lot of exposure and everything, I think that's where the hype is because, I've been in Colorado since the 90s. And, when I first moved out here, it was, oh my God, you're going to get a boyfriend in a hay wagon kind of thing. It's real country moving back from Cleveland. And all my friends are like, that's kind of country. But it's exploded here. The fan base has exploded, the population and everything. And now there's just Buffs fans everywhere and Nuggets fans everywhere. And
Yeah.
I can't really say much about the Broncos right now, but
How enjoyable was that big time loss by them?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, my husband is a Broncos fan, and I
Sucks to
probably
be him.
heard. Oh, I know. It
I
was
mean,
great.
because he is married to you, so I guess it doesn't suck to be him. But
Well,
as a fan,
when you
yeah,
guys talk about needing a backbone to be a Browns fan, you certainly do when you move to a place like Denver, because you constantly get reminded of crap that happened in the 80s. And of
yeah.
course, when the Broncos lost, and I laughed so hard and I rubbed it in his face. But then, of course, his comeback is, well, you remember the drive. And I'm like, yeah, so that was then, this is now, and we've never lost by like that. So, you know, um, it's constant here.
Ugh.
The crap talk. And I'm talking, when I say constant, even in the off season. He'll throw a roll of paper towels at me and he'll be like, oh, you dropped it just like a Browns receiver. And I'm just like,
Like my dream scenario is like, I don't know, first round, beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs, second round, take out Baltimore, AFC Championship, beat down Denver finally, then go to, I don't even care if we beat in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't care at that point.
That's like
But I just want to beat those 3 teams and get to the Super Bowl, win it, and be
dream
like,
Super Bowl run to get rid of
all those,
all of the teams that pissed us off.
That would be
To shut the
amazing.
demons.
that'd be the dream scenario.
I think that would officially kill whatever curse we have with the football gods.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely. I think that Madison, you're in kind of the most enviable position where you're located, at least, because you don't have. I mean, you've got. I guess the Panthers are there, but
Yeah, they're not that close.
right. So it's kind of mild.
We're in 4 different states right now.
We are in 4 different
Nice.
states.
Nice.
Browns fans, Cleveland is bringing us together.
I love
4
it.
different states, 1 city.
Exactly. So anyway, we've got the Buckeyes going on this weekend. I'll be ready to watch them. Unfortunately, I got to listen to the loudmouth Gus Johnson and that
You
moron.
don't like Gus?
I can't stand him. Okay,
I
maybe
love Gus.
it might be the past couple of years getting beat by Michigan. Touchdown, Michigan! And I can't listen to him. He's too hype. He's
Got my favorite all-time call, and I can guarantee you can guess the Denzel Ward call.
I don't which.
You had barbecue, didn't invite me, hurt my feelings. Like
Okay,
that is like my all-time favorite call ever, and that hit was just vicious, dude. Like I always love Gus Edwards, probably just for that call alone.
Gus Johnson, yeah, he's good, but I don't like Joel Klatt. Not a fan of his either.
He's their own,
I've heard worse, but okay. So we got that going on. The Gardos, well, they were out. The only news going there is Terry officially stepping away, although doesn't use the word retire, and got that whole thing.
It was kind of lame that they, pretty much sold off on his last year. Good job by them, owners.
Well, I think that. All right. So isn't this? Yeah. I am disturbed by the Dolans. As much as everyone gets mad at Haslam and what they do, I feel like at least he's, even though it may not be the best decisions, he's trying to win. Whereas this frugalness by the Dolans bothers me. But isn't it crazy that the Rays drew squat for their playoff games? Like 19,000 fans for a playoff game. That is ridiculous. And they're going to get a new stadium. And no one goes to the games. Everybody down there is transplants. They're not.
New stadium might change it. Honestly,
they build it.
Think about Cleveland. Do you think Municipal Stadium was selling any tickets before we moved to Gateway? We moved to Gateway and then we broke records. So I just pray that team gets some damn fans. I kind of feel bad for the team because they're a really good organization
It
and they
is.
need some fans. But I also know that ballpark is one of the worst ballparks there are. Like,
you gotta
it's
cross
really
the bridge
bad.
to get there into St. Pete, right? That's
I believe you're correct.
I just heard it's terrible. That's all I
yeah.
get from people, like reporters, and said they're like it's one of the worst ballparks. They hate going there. It's not very fan friendly. So like at Cleveland, if we could just get the Browns owners money, we'll get the Cavs facility and their halftime show, and and
Halftime show, yes. I
we'll
love
put that with the Indians and or the Guardians, and we'd have a perfect team.
I like that. We could create a super team.
And we'll keep the Guardians organization, like their front office.
Yes, they are
We'll
very
take the money, and then we'll I love what the Cavs do at their in-game shows are amazing. Like they're entertaining. It's from start to end.
It really is. It really is. So, Lysandra, you got to be in the presence of the Nuggets, for their championship run. Did you? Well, being there, and you were there when the Cavs won their championship. I assume you were in Denver when all that was going on in Cleveland, and I took my son to the championship parade up in Cleveland, just to be there. I mean, that was the most amazing thing. But what was the vibe out there in Denver for their first ever franchise championship?
It was huge, but I can tell you that it wasn't as big as Cleveland's party. I've been, since I've been here since the 90s, it's, the Nuggets have always had a frugal ownership until the Cronkies came in, and kind of changed things around, and it took a while, but they always kind of get their players from uh, what is it? A lot of their players are coming from some of those feeder teams in Europe and stuff. That's where they found, I think it was Jokic, and then they had Nurkic, I think it was, and he got traded to the Blazers,
Right.
and that was actually a really good choice by the Nuggets because Jokic is crazy, like awesome. But the vibe over here was great. I mean, people were so excited. Denver is kind of a different place. When it comes to kind of partying and everything, it's changed a lot since I've first moved here. I think not too long after the parade, there was a shooting. So, that happens a lot actually in Denver now. So, I personally didn't go to the parade. Um, I had a bad experience when I actually went to the Broncos parade when they won because I was in college and nobody went to class. So I was like, well, I'll check it out. That was crazy. But yeah, I didn't have a chance to actually go to the parade for the Nuggets. I've been to a few Nuggets games. They're so fun. But the vibe here was awesome. So I was actually kind of proud of them for winning. They worked really hard for it. Now it's the Cavs' turn to do it again.
Did you guys get to the Cavs parade?
What was that again?
Who went to the Cavs parade? Did you guys all get to go?
No, I didn't go. I watched it on TV, and that was an amazing moment for me. I found I found a feed or a stream online for the parade, and I actually had tears of joy when I saw that. It just made me feel so good. I wish I was there, and I know that if the Browns win, I'm going to be sobbing like a baby.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm not even going to try to guess what'll happen if the Browns ever won. When the Cavs won, I remember you guys obviously didn't get to do what I got to do being at home. I just ran outside and just everyone was outside. There was like a watch party. They had a projector going. There was a huge party in someone's front yard. And I was just high-fiving everyone down the street. And it just everyone was out just partying. Like it was like I was in the middle of apartment. It was just like everywhere was a street party. It was very weird. And I guess that was like everywhere. It was everywhere. It was like that.
I went through that. When we won, I was running back and forth through my house screaming, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And one of my buddies knew that I was a Cavs fan. He drove across town with I don't even remember what it was, but he had a bottle with him, and he came over and we took shots and we were high-fiving, and then he left. But he was like, "I thought of you," and we took shots and had a great time. So that's such a great memory. Very teary-eyed when I think about it. So.
I will say, down in North Carolina when the Cavs won, my dad went outside because I guess that's apparently what Cleveland people do. It sounds like. And our neighbors did.
A roof. You can't have a roof over us.
Him, and he's a LeBron fan, so he wasn't. Like at that point, you've got some of the kids that are like player-centric fans. So he got to have that moment, even though he wasn't in Ohio. But so it was a little bit out of the Ohio area. We had a little bit of that share.
I think everyone outside of California wanted the Cavs to win anyways.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair statement.
Yeah, I think so. It was a magical moment. I don't know what will happen. I know how close we were in '97 with the Indians. I was in my freshman year of college in a dorm, and that was a sad. Sadly, I was watching it by myself. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm watching it by myself in my dorm. But that night, someone ripped out the water fountain in the hall. I don't know. We had flooding in the middle of the night. I don't know what happened there. But the Cavs, hey, media day this week. Isn't that exciting? We got basketball next week. Cavs tip off the preseason next week. We've got the additions of Strus and Niang. We lose Lamar Stevenson. We lost Danny Green, and we know how good he is. He's very good, so we're going to miss him. And we bring back Tristan Thompson. After the media day, in my opinion, I'm starting to get the feels, and I'm ready for tip off and ready to watch some Cavs basketball. The Donovan Mitchell story hopefully will die down. Are you guys making anything of it, or is it just a national story? Just to fill time to say, oh, he's going to go to the Knicks. He didn't sign his contract. He didn't do this. Let you guys all chime in on that.
Kevin pointed out something. If anyone says anything about him wearing a Knicks or a Mets thing or anything from New York, when they got mad because LeBron wore New York stuff and Cowboy stuff, and they're like, oh, you're from here. You should be repping where you're from. Well, Donovan Mitchell's dad works for the Mets. His dad works for them. He went to Louisville. He at right around the same time. Like, yeah, he's repping where he's from. He even wore a Cleveland hat to make sure you guys didn't have a freak out, and you're still trying to make some of it. It's so annoying. I can't stand it. Like, dude, just let it go. Like, let us enjoy their winning. Like, obviously the playoff loss sucked. Whatever. It's a new year, and they're a great team, and they've got some great additions. The one thing I'm so excited about that I love hearing is that all those guys wanted to come to Cleveland. It wasn't like, hey, come on. And they're like, oh, okay. They're like, oh, we were thinking about going there. And then they reached out to us. So it was just real natural. And then we got former players like Kevin Love. Love you, bro. Thanks for just doing everything you said up to Max Strus and saying all the great things you said about us. Like, wait, we're a destination place finally? And people are saying nice things about us? Is this real life? Like, what's going on here? My cat's photo dropping.
That's a photo bomb there, podcast bomb. No, I agree with you completely, Jay, and I am pumped up for the season. Madison, you're a baller, shot caller. You right? What did you think? Seeing media day, how pumped up are you for the Cavs?
I am excited. I think mostly there's a lot of praise on Evan Mobley and like not realizing he could score the way that he apparently has been in practice. And they've obviously gotten together quite a bit over the summer, I think, which is also a very good sign, I think. I can't remember. Somebody said that they've never had a team work out all together. I can't remember who it was.
I am not sure about that.
But yeah, I mean, it's the leap year. I think you're hoping for Evan Mobley, right? Like this is the year he makes the big jump on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, defensively, he's been great, and potentially it helps a lot with the spacing that we've added. So hopefully, he has a little bit more room to work. It seems like he's maybe extended out to the three, which is something I want to see in particular. Get that Kevin Durant type shot with the length that he has. So. I'm excited to see what he looks like more than I think anything, just to see if he's grown. And that weight room he had built, that he really put on that muscle.
Hey, what, 7 pounds of muscle?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Lysandra, where do you stand? You ready for the NBA tip-off?
I am. I haven't kept up a lot with the news. I've been really, into the football thing. Like once football season starts, it's like tunnel vision for
vision.
me. It is for me. But I'm really excited to see what the Cavs can do. I know some people were kind of meh about bringing Tristan Thompson in, but he was part of the 2016 squad, and I think that his veteran experience is going to be great for Mobley, and I can't wait to see. Like you guys said that Mobley put on 7 pounds of muscle. I was like, this guy is great. He needs to put on a little more weight, and I think he's gonna make a more of an impact with more of his offensive tools that he has gained.
One of the big reasons that I think they brought in Tristan Thompson is his vocal leadership, not just his physical leadership. Like he's going to make them become a tougher team. That's for damn sure.
He's going to tell them what they need to win.
Yeah, and he's going to hold people accountable if they're like, I don't want to say what people were saying about Jared Allen and stuff during the Knicks game because I kind of feel bad. I love Jared Allen too much. I'm sorry. And yeah, I think he'll be like, nah, man, you need to. He'll like hit him in the chest, like, come on, don't let them push you like that. He's that kind of guy. He'll pump you up.
We could have used that veteranship for that Knicks game because our guys were so young, and I think they just got caught up in the big lights of Madison Square Garden playoff game. That's like the playoff mecca, back in the day.
Who did Tristan Thompson learn how to become like a super professional and work hard to become great? Oh, that LeBron guy, yeah. So I think they're going to respect him. They're definitely going to respect him in his voice. I'm pretty excited. Yeah. Guys, had a great time, but I do have to go.
All right, Jay. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You are always welcome here, Jay. Anytime you want to drop by, you let us know. You got something on your mind. You need to vent. We're right here. That I think that you've already had your Going nuCLEar segment before we've even gone to the Going nuCLEar segment. So thank you very much, Jay. We appreciate your time. Best of luck continuing going forward on the Voice of the Land podcast. You and Kevin do a great job on the Big Play Network. So keep it up, big man.
All right, appreciate it. Good talking to all you guys as always.
All right, we'll talk to our man, always positive, Jay, later. Thanks for him dropping by. So Lysandra, I don't know how much you've had an opportunity, if at all, to watch the show, but we're about at that point of the show where we kind of get some things off of our chest here. And it's we tell everybody what's got us going nuCLEar this week. And so it's along the lines of the what grinds your gears segment, but we call it Going nuCLEar. And I'm going to let Madison tell everybody what's got you going nuCLEar this week.
I have to pick on my dog. Sorry.
And that is fine.
He's sleeping underneath me. But so we go out for a walk. It's been beautiful weather in North Carolina, like, mid 70s, low 80s, like if even really mid 70s mostly. So like we've been going out for walks. I tend to walk a lot. He likes to walk a lot. He likes to run with me. But lately he finds the shade spot and he lays down and he will not move, like will not get up. I just am like standing there. I think people that drive by are like, did he get hit by a car? Is he okay? Like he is that like just flattened to the ground. And there's no one around because he lays down for dogs, to say hi and show them that he's friendly. But like, it's not like there are dogs around. There's no people around. I'm just sitting there with him. And I'm like, I got a meeting in 10 minutes and we are 15 minutes from home and you got to get up now. And I go to pick him up and he doesn't hard bite, but he play bites my hand when I grab his harness. He's like, nope, we're staying here. And then he goes full dead weight. Like
he goes toddler on you.
Oh,
75 pounds. And I lift him and he won't put his feet down. He's just like, nope, won't do it. I'm going back to the ground. And it's just the biggest struggle. And it's just getting worse every time we walk. I almost didn't make it back in time because of him. So that is my what's going nuclear. I need him to get it together, and I maybe need to train him better because he's got me trained to take these little rest breaks, I guess. But it's nice weather, so I guess I can't fault him too much. But when I got a meeting or I got something to do, you gotta pick it up. We gotta get moving.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. That's crazy. My only suggestion from my dog days was the gentle leader
Yeah.
as opposed to the harness. The gentle leader was a good, uh, seemed it. You're able to keep their attention pretty quickly without harming them, or because some people, it's like I feel bad yanking on a chain and like around their neck and stuff.
Yeah.
But the gentle leader is pretty good. So I give you the floor, Lysandra. If you have anything that has you going nuclear, it could be something at work, it could be the sports world, it could be your husband or your kids. Anything you want to share?
God, I got a whole laundry list of things, man. Let's see. My dog has driven me crazy this week as well. She likes to I work from home, so she likes to wait until I get in the middle of a meeting to start looking at me like she wants to go out. And so that's always really fun. So that's really annoying. But I would have to say for me would have to be the super slow drivers when I'm trying to take my kids to school in between going to
Oh
work. I
gosh.
take a quick break in between and I go and take them to school. And for some reason, every single time this week, there's always been that one person that cuts in front of me and goes like 20 miles an hour. And the speed limits out here are a lot higher on the main streets than they are in Cleveland. So, the main streets you'll see like 25 or 35. They go up to 45, 50 out here, and you have people driving like 30 miles an hour or
Oh,
taking like 10 years to just take the turn. And so I would have to say just this past week that the bad drivers are what's killing me. I keep getting back home late, and yeah, and it's really hard for me to not say anything because road rage issues are kind of a big thing out here right now in Denver. So for example, for me during pandemic, it was great because I would wear a mask while I drive and just throw f bombs. So that was the only reason why I'd wear a mask in the car is so that I could say everything I wanted to say. So right now, for me, it's bad drivers.
well, that is definitely a common theme. There are plenty of times when that has us going nuclear. Um, so for me, what has me going nuclear this week, I've got a laundry list as well, and I'm having a hard time picking this. But first of all, I'm just going to point out something. I'm not going to go into great detail, but the new school math.
Oh,
Madison, you don't have this these days, but Lysandra, I'm sure you know it with the kids. My first grader, she was doing, or fifth grader is doing some homework, and she's like, "Well, I'm supposed to use this method." I'm like, "I don't even understand this. I know
yep.
how to tell you. This is the answer. It's telling you to add this, subtract that. I don't know how else to explain whatever they're talking about. Why did they have to break something? Or why did they have to go and fix something that wasn't broken?" Um, but what really has me going nuclear this week is those lying SOBs in the marketing department at McDonald's. Last year, they come out and they make this big proclamation. It's the McRib farewell tour. Your whatchamacarcus sandwich slathered in thousands of calories of sauce is going away forever. Yeah, it's coming
It's
back in
back.
November. It's back. It's back.
I've never had one.
Nor have I. I don't eat pork, so I wouldn't have one, but I'm just ticked that I don't even care about the sandwich. I'm just pissed because they lied. They use this great marketing scheme and they hook everybody. It's like, why don't they just say, even though it's come back every year, no more Shamrock Shake. Oh no. I mean, you lying sacks of poop.
It's just trying to scare people into that FOMO, fear of missing out,
Exactly. And
marketing.
so I I get ticked off with the failure to be truthful in your advertising. I know that actually, I don't know if you guys saw this in the news, but someone tried to file a lawsuit against Wendy's and McDonald's, basically saying that their advertisements show like larger portions and they're not getting their money's worth. And they actually tried to file a lawsuit against them for, I don't know, false advertising or whatever it was. Yeah, that got thrown out. And I'm
It's called
glad it did.
camera angles, people.
That's what everybody does in advertising. They make it look much more appetizing. And if they knew all the tricks to like pizza commercials that makes it look so delicious, it's like they use like glue or something.
Yeah, it was like half of that stuff is fake anyway.
not real food, yeah.
It's synthetic food.
Exactly. So that's just people that abuse the justice system, the legal system like that really bother me. Working in a law office and seeing people that are having legitimate cases, or at least supposed legitimate cases, seeing those type of frivolous lawsuits tick me off. But yeah, I just, when I saw the McRib was coming back, my blood started to boil because I'm just tired of this nonsense. You got to be kidding me with your stupid whatchamacarcus sandwich. It's not even a rib. It's whatever processed and squished into the shape of a rib and then drowned in their sauce. Why don't you go to a real barbecue place and get a pulled pork sandwich, a shredded beef sandwich, a brisket sandwich? Don't go to McDonald's for barbecue.
Oh, but you could get points in the app and everything. Come on.
You make a very compelling argument, but unfortunately, I'm just going to have to pass on that. Although I will tell you, if you guys are Wendy's fans, their like nacho cheeseburger, pretty darn tasty.
Is it?
It is pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I let myself indulge in it, but that's tough. I figure if I'm going to, waste calories or whatever, or carbohydrates in my diet, I suppose every once in a while, a good burger like that won't hurt anybody.
My husband's a fan of the Baconator.
The Baconator. Give me the Clogginator.
Yep.
Yeah. I often think about calling in, to the different radio shows. I like, from Family Guy, they've got the character Cleveland Brown, right? And so I want to go, hello. This is Cleveland Brown. Why did you do that yesterday? No more shenanigans, Andrew Barry. I could just see him doing that, and it would be pretty funny. But at least in my opinion, I guess that's just me, the 12-year-old in me that enjoys comedy. And I don't know, Lysandra, Madison, if you had a chance to look at this week's matchups, would you like to go through who you got in the NFL this week?
We can.
Yeah.
I did good last week.
You kicked my tuchus last week. To put it mildly, Madison, you went an impressive, I think, 13-3 last week. You were on fire. I went 10-6, which was not bad, but I got to bounce back this week. I definitely need to bounce back this week. So let's do a little quick who you got before we get going here, before we get gone this evening. So first up, we've got Chicago now and Washington. Madison, who you got? You got the Bears now with the have you made any change in your consideration? Washington or the Bears?
I have not. I'm going to roll with the Commanders, I think.
You're going to roll with the Commanders. I'm going to roll with the Commanders. Lysandra, who you want? Who you got?
I think I'm going to roll with the Commanders. I feel like Sam Howell and McLaurin have been making a nice connection. So,
yeah, as long as Sam Howell's not connecting 4 times with the opposition like he did against Buffalo, then he'll be all right. Speaking of Buffalo, they get to visit jolly old England and take on Jacksonville from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Bills and the Jaguars, or shall I say the Jaguars? Jaguar. Lysandra, who would you like? You got Bills or Jaguars?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with the Bills. They're the team to beat right now. Jaguars kind of disappointing. I had high expectations for Trevor Lawrence, and they just not meeting them right now.
Not right now. Madison, who you got?
I am going Bills. There may be something to the fact that Jacksonville's been there for a week already, but I still think the Bills get it done.
Yeah, and I'm also going to go with the Bills. The Bills are starting to kind of come into forms right now. Next up, we've got Houston suddenly on fire. CJ Stroud visiting the Falcons, who are on their way, who came back from London. Madison, who you got?
I'm going Houston. I will roll with it. I mean, he's running for his life, but but he's making good throws.
He is. Lysandra, who you got? Falcons or
Um,
Texans?
I think I'm gonna go at Houston. I actually have Nico Collins on my fantasy squad,
Okay.
and I feel like Nico and Stroud are making a nice connection right now and scoring some points. Also, I'm really not impressed outside of Bijan Robinson. I'm really not impressed with Desmond Ritter. He has a awesome, he has a great, what is it, a first round pick tight end that hasn't been utilized very much. Bijan's been doing great, but Ritter he just
He's
looks
not
like
it.
he doesn't fit in the offense. Like it just looks bad. Like when I watch, it looks trash. So
Yeah, definitely. I'm also gonna jump on Houston. I watched the game at the bar with a buddy last Sunday morning, and that was the first or the most Falcons or Jaguars I've watched, other than like if the Browns were playing them. And Desmond Ritter is not impressive at all. Really underutilizing. I mean, you've got Bijan running his butt off, but you're certainly not taking advantage of Drake London and Kyle Pitts. So I'm also going to go with Houston. Carolina at Detroit. You want to bite a kneecap on the way up, Madison?
I will take Detroit. I cannot pick my technically hometown Panthers. It's rough out
Uh,
here.
Lysandra, you,
I'm gonna have to go with Detroit as well. Campbell has had this team coming a long way. I love what Goff is doing with St. Brown. Um, and then who was the
well, they're
other
getting back
tight end?
Jamison
Oh, Sam
Laporta's doing
Laporta.
great. Who else were they getting back? Jamison Williams.
Williams.
So
Yeah,
I just think that Goff has just found his niche and he's in a groove and their defense. And I mean, they came into the season with a roar. Like they were like, we're not afraid of you, to the Chiefs stole that win. So I just think that they're gonna surprise us.
yeah, I agree. All right, we've got a doozy of a matchup. Tennessee at Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson versus Ryan Tannehill. Lysandra, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I gotta go with the
Um I know that the Titans have a tough defense, but Richardson has been running with the ball really well and keeping the Colts afloat. So I like what I'm seeing from the Colts.
Gotcha. Madison, who you got? Titans or Colts?
I am going Colts as well. All these teams that we thought would be like bottom of the league have somehow kind of figured something out, I think. So as long as Anthony Richardson stays on the field, I like their
Yep.
chances.
Yep.
Yeah, I am going to go it alone. I am probably not going to do well. Apparently, I'm not good at picking these things. I'm going to go with Tennessee for whatever reason.
That's fair.
I felt like they had a good game against Cincinnati, and the potential is there, I think, to be better than Indianapolis, but you just never know. Next up, I don't even know if we have to have a discussion about this. The Giants at Miami. All for Miami. Say aye.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, there's Doug.
Oh yeah, that's Marley.
Oh, dude. All right. So we're all in on the Dolphins train there. This is going to be a toss up. New Orleans at the Patriots. Madison, who you got?
I'm going Patriots at home. I'm not really sure what's going on with Derek Carr's shoulder. And then I know Jameis came in for like a play or two. I didn't watch that game, so I'm really not sure. But I am going Patriots.
Lysandra, who you got?
I think I'm gonna go with the Patriots as well at home. Belichick still is a great game planner. He'll find a way to shut down no, the Saints' few offensive weapons that they do have. He's going to definitely game plan for them. So I see the Pats pulling it off, especially after how disappointing their season has been so far. I'm sure Bill is getting in their ass.
It's also his worst loss, right? Coming off his
Yes.
worst loss ever.
Yes.
Yeah, he will be all over that. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to keep doing this. He's looking rough. He's looking rough. All right, then this one, it's really, yeah. There's no rooting interest here, I suppose. But Baltimore at Pittsburgh, who do we think's going to win? Lysandra, I'll let you go first.
I hate to say it, but the Ravens. The Steelers are trash this year. You know, outside of a couple of, you know, they're
But Kenny Pickett's gonna play.
and
Right in his name.
and no. But honestly, even though the Ravens have a lot of injuries, you know, the Steelers just have like their offense is kind of sputtering along, and Pickett hasn't had that connection with Pickens like we thought he was going to have.
Right.
You know, he was killing it in the preseason, and that is why I picked Pickens in fantasy, but that just no, it's not happening. The Ravens just have a really good culture out there. Harbaugh has those guys playing every year. I mean Tomlin does too, but I don't think Tomlin can out coach his way out of this one. So
Yeah, I don't know. Madison, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens as well.
And that's going to make it a clean sweep on the Ravens. Unfortunately, the best thing for the Browns would be for the Steelers to win. But I don't foresee it happening, even with it being a Pittsburgh home game.
if it's going to help the Browns, you know it's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah, we all know this. All right. We've got Philadelphia's at the Rams. The Rams are not horrific. They're not good, but they're not as horrific as maybe we expected. And the Browns do have to play them later this season. Madison, who you got?
Eagles had a bit of a scare last week, so I think they don't take anyone lightly this week. I will take the Eagles.
Sandra?
I'm going to take the Eagles too, even though they did have a bit of a scare. They have Jalen Hurts and they have AJ Brown. And Jalen Hurts, you know, I've been high on Hurts since, you know, last season. I picked him as my starting quarterback in fantasy and rode with him, and he did not disappoint. He he gave the Chiefs a run for their money in the Super Bowl. Should have won the Super Bowl. I just feel like he's not going to let that scare. He's really good at moving on and leading the team and performing under pressure. The guy's great.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Eagles on this one. I don't think the Rams are gonna have quite enough to be able to overcome. Cincinnati is in a world of hurt at 1-3. They are at Arizona. You've got discord going on in the locker room with Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, I don't think is going to play. Burrow's been injured. I'll just lead off. I'm going to go with picking Arizona in this one. Lysandra, who you got?
Sadly, I'm going to go with Arizona. As soon as Dobbs came over there, he's done an impressive job just coming in and filling in on the fly, because that was a trade I didn't see coming. But I think the Cardinals are going to win it.
Madison, who you got?
I was also going to go Cardinals, but since Ethan went Cardinals, now I'm doubting myself.
Oh, no, this is harsh.
I'll stay with my pick, though. I'll go with my gut, Cardinals.
Oh, you're giving. Oh. All right, Lysandra. This is right in your backyard. We got Jets at Broncos.
That's a tough.
That's yeah. This was a difficult one to choose.
It's like the toilet bowl. I'm gonna have to say the Jets because of their defense. I think they're gonna smother the Broncos. I think they're gonna make Wilson look bad. Russ Wilson.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the Jets are on a mission to make Sean Payton eat his words because of the crap he talked about to Hackett in regards to his shit show coaching.
Yeah,
there's totally
a good point.
There's totally drama with that, and so I see the Jets coming at the Broncos with all they got, especially with how the Broncos have had that awful loss. I just feel like Sean Payton is about to eat his words. Like he's come to Denver and he's just kind of been throwing his weight around like, you know who I am, and blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, okay, dude, the team still sucks.
Yep, pretty much. Madison, who you got?
I'm also going Jets. This is a game I guess I kind of wish Aaron Rodgers was playing it just to see how it goes for the drama. I totally forgot.
Yeah, I also went with the Jets. I had a very difficult time figuring it out. I thought that the Broncos, I believe they won last week, and
that's where it stops.
And so I was feeling like maybe they're going to turn it around, but I don't know. I picked the Jets. Next up, we've got the Chiefs at the Vikings. Vikings having a bit of a rough start here. Madison, who you got?
I will take Travis Swift and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him, by the way. Now I, know that because of Taylor Swift. So happy
Well, there
birthday
you go.
to
There you
Travis
go.
Kelce.
Lysandra, who you got? Chiefs or Vikings?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are definitely gonna have to work on defense to make sure that Justin Jefferson doesn't catch fire. Because when him and Cousins get going, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Okay, next I'm also going on the Chiefs here. Next up, we've got Dallas at San Francisco. Lysandra, I'll let you go first.
Well, both of those teams have top defenses, so
Right.
it's going to be one of those things where it's either going to be one of those games where nobody is scoring, or one of the teams is going to find that hole and just kill it and break away with the lead. And I think that team is going to be the 49ers. I don't think that the Cowboys are going to be able to um, slow down McCaffrey. He is on a roll, and I believe watching my sports news, he is on track to rush for 2,500 yards if he keeps it up. So, the 49ers are on fire. Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, came out of nowhere, and this guy is killing it. So I'm going to have to go with them. Sorry, Cowboys.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize for them. I don't mind it. Madison, who you got?
I am also going Niners, but I do think because we play them the following week that we have a nice trend of the team we play losing big in the week before they play us. And so I'm a little worried about that, but I still think it's the Niners.
Right. I am going to go with the Niners as well, and received a comment from Elizabeth, given all the props to you guys and your diagnoses of the matchups and everything like that. So got some fans out here getting the love. Me, not so much, but you guys are getting the love. Okay. Last game on the docket next Monday night. We've got I don't even know. This is not that great of a matchup. Green Bay at Las Vegas. Madison, let you go first. Who you got?
I'm taking the Packers. We'll roll with Jordan Love.
I think that's a fair thing to do. Lysandra, what you got?
I'm going to go with the Packers. I believe Derek Carr is hurt. The other thing
Oh,
is,
he doesn't play for them anymore.
oh, he doesn't.
Hey, Derek Carr plays for the Saints.
Oh, yeah, never mind. It was Garoppolo.
Jimmy G was hurt. He has the concussion.
Jimmy G. Sorry. Woo.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at in the concussion protocol, but
now
yeah.
I don't see the Raiders pulling that one off at all. I've been impressed with how well Jordan Love is integrated in the offense, even though he's had a few hiccups. But he's been studying under one of the GOATs, and it's almost like the Packers have figured out how to foster quarterbacks. We're the quarterback killers, and they're like the quarterback growers. It's like, the past 30 years, they've been able to hold on to a quarterback, have them study under, their leader. Like Rodgers studied under Favre and then came out and was seamless into the offense. When I see Jordan Love run that offense, it's like for me, it just seems like it just comes naturally to him because he's been around it so long. And he's also picked up a lot of Aaron Rodgers mannerisms I've seen too. So
yeah, definitely. I am also going to go with the Packers. So Madison, too late to change your pick. Ha ha ha. Joke on you. No, I just have no faith in Josh McDaniels or Las Vegas, especially if they don't. If Jimmy G's not playing, I especially have no confidence in them. If it has to be Aiden O'Connell, that's going to be tough again for them. I don't know what McDaniels does. It's really.
He killed the Broncos when he was here. So,
Yeah, he did.
it's weird because it's almost like these coaches off of the Belichick tree like Matt Patricia, he just sucked ass in Detroit.
Right.
And McDaniels came to the Broncos and broke them up and ruined them, and now he's come to the Raiders and it's another shit show. So it's like
Yeah.
he's one of those when we were talking about this earlier in the podcast, we were talking about how some guys are just fit to be coordinators, and he's one of them.
Right.
He's not fit to be a coach.
Yeah. Kind of sad coming from, growing up in
Especially playing under or, coaching under Belichick.
right. Well, and growing up in Canton,
Mhm.
I didn't go to Canton McKinley, but was at the crosstown rival Canton Glen Oak, and seeing his dad have such success, Tom McDaniels,
Uh-huh.
at the high school level, winning a couple of state titles. I mean, some studs
Yeah.
at McKinley that went on to play at like Ohio State and elsewhere. So, yeah, it's
He
kind of
definitely didn't get the coaching gene.
no, not so much, not so much. And that is going to do it, folks. Lysandra, thank you so much for joining us, and tell everyone where we can see you besides here and in your living room.
Oh yeah. So I'm currently doing a podcast with Yvette and Lana, Miss Stefanski girl and Miss Yvette. If you give us a follow on YouTube under Bougie Sports, we have an episode coming up on Tuesday. Should be really fun, pajama party. But we put out episodes every other week, and we look forward to having you guys on there, giving us a listen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We would love to. We thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure having you join us, and you're always welcome. We'll hope to get you and Lana on, and we've had Yvette. We talked with her. She came on wearing a Charles Barkley jersey.
I love Barkley. I can't say it. I mean, that was the dude back in the day.
He was. I loved his shoes. The shoes were
I had his shoes, and I just loved how he didn't give a crap about what people thought
he
about
still
him.
doesn't.
He still doesn't. He's now it's even worse because he's an old man. So he's just like he's ran out of F's to give. So-
Pretty much. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Madison, thank you as always. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And that's going to do it for us here. You've been watching Going nuCLEar, full blown coverage of the land.